Hey fam, how y'all doing? I just wanted to come on here real quick to let y'all know God is good. He's good all the time. And I'm going to tell you why. So I just got home, right? And I was, doing my little DoorDash, also on Flow/Uber Eats. And I checked my mail because I said I haven't checked the mail in a while, even though there's nothing ever there but bills and more bills and all kinds of other nonsense that I don't feel like looking at. And then I seen this strange envelope, and I was just like, I don't recognize this one. And it looked like maybe a debt collector. I was thinking, I don't know. I opened it up. To my surprise, and I'm glad it was forwarded to my new address from Texas because they had my Texas address on it. I got a nice little check in the mail. Can y'all believe it? I said, who is this check from? It said some kind of financial services company, and it was for an overpayment. I said, overpayment for what? I don't remember overpaying for anything. I can't think of anything I would have overpaid for recently because all my bills have come out like normal. If they're not on automatic payments, I manually pay them with my credit card, but I can't think of anything that I may have overpaid for recently. And I said, if it forwarded from Texas, it was something that was in Texas that I overpaid for. And the only thing I can either think of, what I'm assuming, is possibly my very last car note, because I remember I paid off my car back in February when I first relocated to Virginia. Or it could be an overpayment for some kind of I don't know, medical bill or something. I don't know, child. But I said, thank you, Jesus. Because tomorrow when I wake up, cashing that joker. I'm cashing that damn thing. Believe this, yes. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to the grocery store and fill up my fridge with real food because I'm tired of eating ramen. I've been sitting up here eating ramen noodles and cereal and smoothies. I'm tired of that shit. I said, now I can get some real food. And then, even if I did get real food, outside of the grocery store, I would normally stop at places like Wawa, grab something from the grill, like a little snack or something. But most of the places I've been going to were like, Jersey Mike's, eating out, pretty much wasting money. And I got tired of it. And I was just thinking, man, as soon as I get my next check, the first thing I'm going to do is go grocery shopping because I ain't got nada in that fridge. And I had just told my homegirl about this mysterious check tonight. And she made fun of me. She said, good, now go fill up that dry ass fridge. I said, shut up, ho. You always hating. Because she made fun of me when she had dropped me off at home. This is the one that brought me home from the hospital when I had my surgery. She was making fun of me when she realized I didn't have no food in the fridge. I said, times are hard, man. When you be out here door dashing and shit, it's rough. And my little DoorDash money is honestly going to extra bills. Is literally going to like little, like little loan payments I might owe or something, just some random shit like subscriptions. Half of them I cut off. The only subscriptions I have now is Spotify and Stars and Netflix. And half the time I barely watch Stars and Netflix. I might end up cutting them off, but I want to keep Stars because now the new season of BMF is coming out on Friday. And then Netflix, the new Tyler Perry movie called Straw is coming out on Friday. So it's just too much good stuff coming out. So I said, I'm going to keep my subscriptions. They're only like $9.99 a month anyway. But it just be extra bullshit that I be paying on literally outside of my normal bills. But yeah, I was happy, y'all. I was just like, I cannot believe I got a free check in the mail. And I didn't do nothing for it. It made me feel good. Because I know $300 may not be much to some people, but that's a lot to me. Because I ain't got nothing to my name. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm broke as a joke. I ain't got no money. And if I do get money, it's only because first of the month, aka, disability, or it's because I'm door dashing. From time to time, I might get a few pennies here, a few pennies there. And today was terrible. I only cashed out like maybe 20 or 30 bucks. It was horrible. But I wasn't out very long either. I started kind of late because I was kind of home all day, sleeping as usual. And then I went to the library. That's why I got a late start. I had to stop at the library earlier, around 3 o'clock ish, to print off some documents for my new job. And yes, the new job is secured, by the way. Hallelujah. Finally. I'm so happy that I got approved for my secret clearance for my job. It took a minute. It took 30 days, but the wait was worth it. Because at first I didn't think I had this job. I was just like, these motherfuckers probably said, this bitch got bad credit. We can't trust her with shit. Her finances are upside down. We're not giving her no type of clearance. But lo and behold, they fooled me. They gave me a clearance. I was shocked. And yeah, it's not a joke. They go back 10 years on all your stuff. 10 years of address history, 10 years of jobs, 10 years of, criminal civil issues. If you have any, thank God I ain't got none. As I was clean on that part. And then, of course, your drug screening and all that good stuff. But yeah, I passed everything with flying colors, the basics, it was just a matter of this clearance. That was the holdup. But yeah, I don't want to ever go through this again. And once I printed off those documents and sent them back at the library and scanned them, I was good to go. And they said Monday I have to check in for new hire orientation. But it's weird. They're making me check in remotely from home, which I've never heard of. And they just basically told me to make sure I complete my new hire task in the portal and make sure that my I-9 stuff has been uploaded and verified. And I was like, okay, well, that seems simple. And that was pretty much it. And I guess I go to the office Tuesday. I don't know. I don't even have my schedule yet. That's the crazy part. I don't even know who my boss is. That's the even crazier part. Like, I don't know nobody. This whole entire time, I've been in communications with the bigwigs out of DC, the ones that do the clearance. And I'm just like, who are my people? Who are my team members? And who is my boss? That's what I need to know. I need to know, like, who do I report to? Because y'all haven't told me a thing. I don't even know the location of the office yet. They haven't given me the address. I don't know nothing. So I'm just like, is this like a hybrid role? Am I going to be like working part-time from home, which would be nice, and then part-time in the office? Or am I working 5 days a week? See, like, I haven't even gotten that far. But I'm excited. I'm very happy to get some more income rolling in. Hallelujah. And right now I'm in the middle of looking for a part-time gig to help with additional incomes and monies. The reason I want a part-time gig, I want it on the weekends because, one, DoorDash and Uber Eats is not enough. Let's be honest. Half of that goes to gas. Half of that goes to like random, bills and shit. And then two, I want something specifically on the weekends because I know I can pick up extra money if I do like gig jobs, like server, bartender, stuff like that. I want something fun. I'm not sitting in nobody's office on the weekend. You can forget that shit. I will only do office work Monday through Friday. That's it. And then on the weekends, I want something chill. I don't want nothing too stressful, like, getting quotas, doing sales. I thought about being like one of those demo people. Those people you see in the grocery stores that try to sell you a product, the demonstrators. That's what they're called, demo people. But then, like, when I looked at the breakdown of the pay, most of their stuff is commission. It's not guaranteed, and you're not on salary or hourly. So what's the point? So even though I seen some postings on Indeed that said, like, you can make 20 here, you can make 30 here, it's not guaranteed. Most of that's commission. So the only smart thing I can think of to pick up quicker cash is probably either server or bartender, because depending on the location of the restaurants or the bar, and depending on what kind it is, will determine how much income I can get. Because I notice around here, this is a very nice area where I live. There's a lot of very fancy shopping centers around here. And I'm talking like like very upscale. Like there's a Barnes and Noble not too far from here. In that same shopping center, there's a steakhouse. I believe they have a Perry's Steakhouse here. I've seen it. And I believe they have a Ruth Chris Steakhouse somewhere around here. But yeah, there's a lot of fancy, like fine dining restaurants around this area. And I said, why is it so hard to get on at one of those? Because that's where the main bread and butter is at, is fine dining. But I don't know if it's just competition, or I don't know if it's just experience, but I notice a lot of them when I look on Indeed on the job posting descriptions, they'll be like, we want 1 year or 3 years bartending experience, or they'll say like you need fine dining experience. And since I don't have fine dining experience, I'm going to have to start at the lower level. But to be smart about it, I'm not going to just be serving anybody anywhere. I'm not going to be at Chili's. I'm not going to be at Applebee's. Damn sure ain't doing Olive Garden. What I will do is find something nice, clean, upscale, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be inside of a hotel, like one of those fancy upscale bars, and like one of those like the Omni or something, or a country club, because they have a lot of country clubs around here, a lot of rich neighborhood country clubs. And it's really hard to get on one of those too, because like people don't realize, even though the salaries they post appear very low, you make hella tips. Because around here, on average, I would say people are making anywhere from $500 to like $1,200 a week in tips. And that's only because of the establishment. It's either fine dining, it's like very casual, very upscale, or the neighborhood is popping and it's a very popular shopping center. And that's like the only way I will go into food and beverage service, if it's fine dining or if it's somewhere clean and upscale. That's the only way I'm doing it. And now if I don't find a server gig, I also thought about doing customer service stuff, like those mystery shopper peoples, where you go in mystery shop places like Kroger and stuff like that. That's good money too. Most of it is commission. That's like the downside of it. But you can make some decent money as a mystery shopper. And if it's not a mystery shopper, I would probably be like an in-store shopper, like a curbside pickup shopper. Now, those don't pay as much. From what I've seen on Indeed, I've seen anywhere between like 15 to 16 an hour. I actually got the gig at Whole Foods. Whole Foods had hit me up and left me a voicemail. But then when I talked to the manager, this was between my surgery time, before I had surgery, she told me to wait until I finished surgery and then reapply whenever I'm finished, and then come back and let them know my schedule. Because they told me they were willing to take me on. But that was the only dilemma with surgery at the time when they were about to hire me. So I thought about it, and I was just like, I was just like, even if I did Whole Foods for 15 an hour, I did the math. It's really not much, because there's no bonus, there's no commission, you're hourly. I would only work 2 days a week, and I probably wouldn't work every weekend. So in reality, I'm probably only going to clock like 10 to 20 hours a week, if that. If I see 10 to 20 hours a week. I don't even think I would see that many hours, because it's part-time. So then I was just like, nah, the quickest way to do this is going to have to be evenings and weekends. But it would have to be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That would be the perfect schedule. And I would do weekends, and I would do evenings on Fridays only. And I would be specific and set certain hours, so that way I could have time to leave my day job and prepare for the evening job on the weekends and call it a day. Now, I also did think about going back into security, but security over here is kind of janky. I haven't done security in so long, and even if I did it, I would have to go through the guard card licensing mumbo jumbo crap. And here is slightly different. Virginia, they require you to have and some of them are armed guard license if it's armed. If it's unarmed, you still need a guard card, but then you also need some type of specialized license. It's not like a Class C. I think it said like a Class D. I don't even know what the hell a Class D license is, but Virginia is a little bit different. Some of them require more than 2 different cards. So I thought the process appeared hectic, and I was just like, I'm not even gonna fool with security here because I just don't trust it. And even if I did security, it probably would not be good because one, a lot of the areas that I've seen the patrolling around, bad neighborhoods, very bad neighborhoods. Unless it's in a very nice manufacturing facility, then yeah, I might do security. But if it's not in the manufacturing facility, if it's not inside of like a fancy museum, because I noticed the museum is hiring as well for part-time security, they actually pay pretty decent. They pay 18 over here. I was shocked. Some of them pay as high as 25. It depends where you are. But yeah, depending on the site, I might do it. I'm still debating. I might go to the museum and pull security part-time at the museum. But if not there, then I would definitely do server bartender. I really want to do server bartender because one, it's more money. I mean, it's just common sense. If you think about it, you could probably rack in close to, depending on what type of restaurant it is or what type of bar it is, downtown, you probably rack close to $1,000 in a night, easily. That's why I kind of miss bartending. I haven't bartended in so long. Oh God. The very last time I was quote unquote a bartender was for a strip club once upon a time that I never told my parents about. I used to bartend at a place called Foxy's. It was downtown El Paso. This was years ago. I'm telling on myself now. And it was fun. But at the same token, because it was a strip club, they also made me dance. That part wasn't fun. But anyway, I was very young. I was very naive at the time. I didn't know any better. So don't judge me. I was in my 20s. It was long time ago. Long time ago. But anyway, that was the only time that I bartended. And I did like serving gigs when I was in, most of my serving gigs honestly was in Austin. When I used to live in Austin, I did like part-time weekend like banquet serving. Now banquet serving is different. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There ain't no money in that shit. Don't do it. If you do banquet serving, like say like on a weekend for like a day or two, you might make $100, and that's if they allow you to get tips depending on the event. If it's for a wedding, you can forget it. You're not gonna make no fucking tips. I did a banquet serving event for a wedding reception. I'll never forget it. And they told us to wear all black attire, black shirt, black collar shirt, black pants, black apron, whatever. And we were serving, everyone's drinks, refills, and making sure their plates were delivered. And that was kind of rough. That was kind of hard for me. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was sweating my ass off. I was on my feet for like damn near 10 hours. And then when it was time to tear down the banquet, we had to clear the tables, bust the tables. That was a lot for being outside. I was getting bit up by mosquitoes. I said, I will never do this shit again. And then after that, I forgot, it's after quiet time hours. I'm all loud. It's after 10 o'clock. After that, I got my check from that banquet event. That check said I think it was like 120, 115 in a day. I was just like, this ain't enough money. I can't do this. I said, oh no. I said, y'all got me all the way fucked up. You think I'm going to keep doing this bullshit and then being on my feet all day outside, busting tables for white folks? No, I said, I'm not doing this slave shit no more. Never again. But yeah, I came to the conclusion the easiest way to really make some quick cash, either fine dining or something inside of like a hotel. That is like the only way. Because unless you're in a very popular brunch spot, don't sleep on the brunch spots either. I've applied to so many brunch spots out here and I still haven't heard anything. Brunch is where the money is at. You'd be surprised how many old ladies be with their little friends at brunch, and would it be like a table of 10 of them jokers, like on a Sunday or Saturday. You'd be surprised how many people go out to brunch out here and be sitting by the water, because there's a lot of water around here, especially downtown. It's very beautiful downtown. And they will spend a cool $100 to $200 a table easily during brunch. So just imagine how much money you would make with the tips on a big table like that for brunch. People be making bread out here. They low key act like they broke. They not broke. Even Tasha K said it. Shout out to Tasha K. Tasha K, the influencer, the popular YouTuber blogger, she said that before she blew up on YouTube, she also was a server. And that's why I'm so used to doing all these type of gig jobs, because it's quick cash and it's easy. She said when she used to work for some fancy restaurant in Atlanta, she saw like rappers like T.I. and Tiny and 2 Chainz and all types of people. And she said that she would make a ton of money. I believe her, because if you think about it, when you go to very popular restaurants that are like high end and they require like reservations and stuff, that's money. Because she said on average she made, as a server, I want to say she made about $1,200 to $1,500 a week easily at that restaurant. And I was just like, damn. And she would come home with like 400 or 500 in tips easily. So I said, okay, there's money to be made out here. Because if people in the restaurants are making twice as much than what I make on wheels, rolling around DoorDash, wasting my precious gas and shit, I need to get back into the food and beverage sector. That's what I need to do. Because at this point, I've came to the conclusion that that's the only way to make really good cash. Because unless you're into sales, I don't have the gift of gab. That's why I would never do sales. If I tried sales, you're going to have to pay me hourly plus commission. I'm not doing the whole thing on commission. I refuse. And I did have a phone interview the other day with Cabela's. Cabela's is similar to Bass Pro Shop. And it was for an ATV and boat sales consultant. And the pay wasn't shit. I think the pay was like, I don't know, 15, 16 an hour. And she didn't even ask me no real questions. She was like, so tell me, what attracted you to apply to a Cabela's? I said, well, I heard you guys have a great reputation. I love sports and outdoors and blah, 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 blah. And she just asked me like what my availability was like. And after those 3 or 4 little questions, she said, okay, we'll forward your answers to the hiring manager. If they decide to move forward, we'll reach out to you. Then I got an email at 3 o'clock in the morning showing a rejection. I said, how dare you send me a rejection email at 3 o'clock in the morning? It was one of those automated robot emails. But I was just like, what did I say so wrong? I said, maybe I said too much on the salary, because all I said was 16. I thought 16 was low, but apparently in most customer service roles like Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop, some people only getting 12, 13 an hour, and that ain't no money. I refuse. The only way I will work for that that minimum of a wage is if it's food and beverage. Because why? Food and beverage, you're going to make tons of money with tips and bonus. Because if you work somewhere like, say, Fogo de Chão, like the Brazilian steakhouse, or Perry's or Ruth Chris, do you know how much money you can rack in within a night? Depending on how many tables you scoop up. You can rack in a lot of money at places like Ruth Chris and Perry's. And that's why I want to get back into serving, because that is where the bread and butter is at. I'm trying to tell y'all, that's where the money is at. It's a money game out here. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, because I know y'all be tired of me sometimes when I be talking. But I'm excited. I got me a free check in the mail again. I'm going to go cash this sucker in the morning, go get me some groceries. And I'm just going to chill. Because I refuse to let the bank hold my check hostage and hijack it with some random ass loan payment. The fuck? I was so mad earlier when I woke up this morning. Let me tell y'all before I go. My shit said negative $16. I said, for what? All my bills were paid. What the hell made my shit negative? And then I looked at my bank statement. I was just like, oh, it's you, the goddamn loan people. Some random bill from like, I don't know, PayPal. You know, like those little paying for installment things. I think it was one of those. Or Spotify. I don't know. It was one of my subscriptions. It hijacked my shit and made it negative. So I got up, and that's when I went ahead and DoorDash, got my shit out the negatives, got my little $30, $40 and change, and I went straight the hell home. Because I was not going to be out here all night. I literally spent about, I say about 2 hours on the road, not even two, an hour and a half. And I scooped up about 30, $40. I actually made more today on Uber Eats than DoorDash. And normally I don't do Uber Eats, but DoorDash was doing me so dirty. Every little delivery I had from downtown was a 20 to 30 minute ride to deliver. I said, oh, fuck no. You're not going to keep paying me $5, $6, $7, $10 an order. And then half of these people are half-ass tipping, and I'm not making no real money. I cashed out $16 on DoorDash within an hour. That's how bad it was today. That's why I don't do weekdays. Weekends is higher. And I do Uber Eats for I say about another hour. Within that hour, you know how much I cashed out from Uber Eats today? I cashed out $30 within an hour on Uber Eats. So if I cashed out $30, that's technically about, I don't know, I would say about 16, 17 an hour that I was making literally on the clock. And I said, well, I'll be damned. I made more than DoorDash. And I said, and that was within an hour. So yeah, definitely going to be Uber eating, doing more Uber Eats. Probably, I may not do it tomorrow because like I said, I'm going to go grocery shopping and chill. I might do it, let's see, what's tomorrow, Thursday? I don't know. Depending on how I'm feeling, I might do the morning. I might see what breakfast looks like because I haven't done Uber Eats for breakfast in a while. So it's been a minute. Normally, I would do DoorDash for breakfast time just to get breakfast orders, but they haven't been pretty good lately. Like when I first started, DoorDash was good. I was getting 150 here, 200 there, damn near 300, like every other weekend. Now it's like 50 here, 100 here. It's like $100 or less minimum. It's terrible. So that's why I said something got to give. I got to do something because this don't make no sense. I'm not getting no gigs, from acting. And acting, that shit's gone down the toilet, honestly. Even though I get the auditions, I'm not getting selected for any of them. It's so rough. Like, y'all would be surprised how many auditions I get in my email a day from my agent. And I never get selected. Never. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I get so many commercial auditions. Commercials are very hard to get out here. I don't know why. I honestly think it's me, or it might be my headshots. I don't know. But I done switched up my headshots so many times, I'm starting to give up on that shit. I really am. But I even got a commercial for the Virginia Lottery Commission. They sent me an audition. I was surprised. I was shocked. Somebody from DC was like, hey, we noticed you had an audition request, and since you were not selected, we saw that you were, in Richmond. We actually have something closer to you. It's the Lottery Commission is downtown if you want to audition for it. And they sent me the info, and I was like, all right. And of course, I didn't get selected for that either. But they pay. It's just very hard to get selected. That's the issue. It's a game. Like, if it's not by looks, because most of the time it's by looks, it's by experience. If you don't have a lot of experience like me, and you're like a newly, actor, then yeah, they're going to be like, well, she's only been an extra, she's got a little experience, but she's not highly experienced, so we don't really want to deal with her. Or she doesn't have that distinct look, quote unquote, like a model. And that's the majority of the issue. But I'm going to tell you, the good thing about acting, especially if you want to do a commercial, or if you want to do like magazine ads, like photo print or something like that, you don't have to be a certain size. You don't have to be like starving yourself like the models. That's why I would never do modeling. Modeling, you have to starve yourself. I mean, they do have plus size models. Don't get me wrong, but that don't mean shit. Even if I try plus size modeling, I mean, there's still restrictions. That's the point. And when it comes to acting, there's no real restrictions. You could be 300-400 pounds, like the size of Miss Pat, that comedian. You could be her size and be on a commercial with no issue. But the problem is, I'm starting to think with the big back community like me, I think they will only allow a select few big backs into certain projects. And that's only if they have creative content, which I do not really have, Or if they have a big following, if they have a big follower count like on Instagram or TikTok, yeah, you're going to definitely get some sponsors. You're going to get some deals. Trust me. You could be the ugly duckling in the room and get a shit ton of sponsorship deals and commercials because you have a popular following on TikTok. I've seen it so many times. I'm going to tell you, honestly, I don't think it's about talent. I think it's about who you know and who really knows you and how popular you are. I'm starting to get that notion because y'all see me. I've done acting classes in the past. I've done all sorts of professional training with all types of acting instructors all over Dallas before I moved here. And where did that get me? Nowhere. It got me nowhere. And that's why I kind of lost faith in it, because I was just like, I'm starting to give up hope. As much as I would love to do this, I don't know what else to do. I've done everything that I could do to get my foot in the door. And I didn't make no real connections. So I said, oh, well, I give up. Now, it's nice to have an agent, but at the same token, even if you have an agent, that don't mean diddly squat. The agent just sends you the auditions. They can't get the actual job for you. They don't scout you or market you like most agencies would. Maybe in modeling, you might be marketed better than acting, but acting, they don't market you. All they do is send you the audition. You'd be surprised how many people, especially people that I know personally on Instagram in like big ass Tubi movies, that said it took them like 5 to 10 good years to get where they're at now to make the real money. Like one dude told me it took him like 15 years of professional training and acting to get multiple movie roles. Like it's a lot. And a lot of people go homeless behind that bullshit. A lot of people go broke. And that's why I tell people you can't depend on it, because it's not stable. It's a very unstable industry. That's why you got to have a backup plan. People laugh at me all the time and be like, why are you doing all these oddball jobs? Well, because acting ain't easy. It's hard. It's rough out here. I saw a podcast interview. I'm going to share one more thing before I go. I promise you I'm going to go. I saw a podcast interview with that comedian named Donnell Rawlins. Donnell Rawlins is so funny. He's one of my favorites, actually. He used to be on the Chappelle Show. He played that iconic character called Ashy Larry. It was so funny. But anyway, Donnell Rawlins even said when he made it to the Chappelle Show on an interview, I think he was on an interview with Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp. He admitted that he was only getting paid $500 a show. $500 ain't shit. I said, wait a minute. He's on TV, the most popular network there is on Comedy Central at the time in the late 2000s, with Dave Chappelle, one of the top comedians, and Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy's brother. And he was only getting paid $500 a show. $500 a sketch. So just imagine how far it took somebody like Donnell Rawlins, who's very popular now, to get where he is today. It's a lot. And he even admitted it. He said when he was broke, he was literally living out of his car. A lot of these Hollywood people, they be living out of cars in places like LA, New York, Chicago, Jersey. I will never do that. I don't give a damn how bad I want it. I'm not living out of my car. I'm just not going to do it. I'm sorry. Will I take $500 a show? You're damn right I will take $500 a show. That don't bother me at all. But the problem is that when the show cancels or when the show stops, what's the next project? Because you got to keep yourself busy when you're in the entertainment business. And that's the issue. If you can't constantly keep yourself busy on a project or a show or some type of a film, you're going to be stuck like Chuck. And you're going to be like, damn, I'm going to have to get on a 9 to 5. And that's why a lot of these Hollywood people, these bigwig executives now that have all this money, were literally living out of cars. And if they weren't living out of cars, they were just out there bussing tables, working like server, bartender industries, You'd be surprised how many Hollywood people, matter of fact, I'm going to tell you the most popular one that got discovered as a server, surprisingly, but he was in California at the time, it doesn't surprise me, was Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is a very nice looking white man, and he has a very distinctive look. And when he was like, I want to say 21, maybe 22, somewhere around there, he was very young when he got discovered. He was a server at some little diner cafe downtown LA. Somebody saw him, some bigwig producer, and said, "Do you want to be a model? You have the model look." Da 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 da. And then that's when he started doing modeling for Calvin Klein and all these other fashion model stuffs. And then once he got into movies, I think his very first one was with what's her name, Julia Roberts. It was him, Julia Roberts, and was it Julia Roberts? No, it wasn't Julia Roberts. I kind of mixed up the other redhead, Susan Sarandon. It was him and Susan Sarandon and the other white lady. I forgot her name, but she was a very popular actress back in the 90s. But his very first film was Thelma and Louise. And after Thelma and Louise, he just basically blew up from there and just started doing both more movies. But it's just like the luck of the straw. You just have to be in the right place at the right time is pretty much what I got. I mean, there was a lot of people who were discovered even as extras. You'd be surprised. I want to say Sandra Bullock was discovered as an extra before she blew up in the movie called Speed with Keanu Reeves, and somebody else was an extra. I want to say that big black lady, Octavia Spencer. She was an extra. I forgot what movie she was in that she played an extra, but she was like a nurse or something. She blew up just from that. But yeah, most of the time, I'm starting to notice a lot of these bigwig people now, they don't even need to be an extra. They could just be like, I don't know, modeling. If they're not modeling, they're just like doing theater. Theater is very popular. People tell me all the time that I should do theater because I have the magical voice, but I don't think I do. Can I sing? Maybe on a good day, depending on the song. But I can't do all that bouncing around and dancing and shit. My ass is damn near crippled. But if I was more active, yes, I would probably do Broadway. I would probably do theater, but it's super hard. People don't understand how much work and training and practice it takes to get to Broadway. It takes a lot to get to Broadway. But it depends. I don't know. I might try out for a theater musical one day. I don't know. Some people get discovered from that too, just being in a musical. But anyway, the point is, you got to know somebody to know somebody, and you really got to put yourself out there. You really have to market yourself because nobody else is going to market you. But enough of my little soapbox. I just got randomly off topic. I'm going to go now. I hope you guys enjoyed this lovely 40-minute video, damn near, that I just spent when I was only supposed to be here for like 10 to 15 minutes. But I don't know. Something just got to me and I just felt like talking to y'all. But I'm going to try to get me some sleep. It's after midnight. It's late. And I will talk to you guys next time. Y'all take care. Bye.